What's on program? Kayla. Me. All right. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to start on time so we don't have to be here all night, right? And people will probably trickle in, and we know we're going to live stream our conversation tonight. Hello. How are you? We're going to live stream our conversation tonight, and we know we got a late start on advertising tonight's meeting. We sent out some emails last week, but this is the first of a second we're going to have. January 27th is our second town hall that we're going to host for this particular project. And then we have another public meeting with the Pottstown School District on February 5th, which is a Thursday at 5 o'clock. Tentatively on February 12th at 5 o'clock, if the board feels as though they need more information, we have another meeting scheduled if that one goes longer and more information needs to be provided. So the reason why they would do that is because you have to advertise a meeting 30 days in advance, okay? So they're going to advertise that meeting regardless if we know we need it or not. Hopefully, we just keep hitting home runs and they go along with it, okay? That was a joke. All right. So I do want to be as formal as I can. I'm going to go through the presentation that we gave. Then I want to answer some questions from people that have them. We do have some people that are monitoring what's happening online. Hi, Pastor Ross. Welcome. Dr. Ross. Yeah. You made it. I believe that we do have audience mics set up. I think there's a microphone that will pass if people here have things that they would like to say. Just a little bit about myself. Those of you that are watching online, and Kayla, I think you're going to go in between slides, right, so that people online can see. I graduated from Pottstown High School back in 2001, and I graduated from Valor Christian College in 2003. I came home from college, and I've been serving in this community, lived here, serving in this community mostly my entire life. Graduated from the University of Valley Forge in 2005, which Bachelor's of Science in Psychology. Graduated from Liberty University in 2013 with a Master's in Theology. And prayerfully all goes well, I'll be finishing my Doctor of Ministry at the end of this year. All right. So we're excited about that. Just giving you a little background for those that might not know who I am. Before I was the pastor of Kingdom Life Church, I served as a youth pastor and director of Christian education 2005 to 2011. My wife and I planted Kingdom Life Church in 2012. We started in our living room back then, and we've grown it to what it is today. I've served on the Potts Grove School Board, served as the president for 2 years, and it was an honor to serve. It's a lot of work to serve on a school board. It's volunteer work as well. It's even more work if you're the president of that board. We conversations multiple times a day with the superintendent, with the solicitor. You make a lot of important decisions for the community on behalf of the kids and the teachers and the staff. Served on the Pottstown Health and Wellness Board. We opened Kingdom Life Childcare in 2021. We started on Walnut Street, and we moved into this building in 2024, and Kingdom Life Childcare is a STARS 3 center, okay? We should be receiving that paperwork any day now, okay? We've moved up through the rank based off of our curriculum, our staffing, the quality of staff that we hire. So that's what's causing our STARS ranking to go higher. In the state of Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania Keystone STARS is a ranking for child care centers. I want to make a distinction there, though, because what we do here is not babysitting. Okay, it's not a daycare, although we do care for kids during the day. We hire people that are skilled in their craft. It's an education center. We're training kids to be able to go enter kindergarten, okay? And when they go there, we want them to say, these kids went to Kingdom Life, okay? We opened Kingdom Life Christian Academy in 2022. That is a private Christian school that is geared particularly to homeschool kids and families that homeschool their children, but they need a cohort for social activities of that nature, and we bring them together and we facilitate that for them. So why in the world would we want to open a charter school? So when looking at the numbers and looking at what we're doing with Kingdom Life Christian Academy and looking at the scope of the need, we kind of have a reputation as a child care center for dealing with kids and children that have a lot of emotional behaviors that need a lot of support. As a private institution, you're finding families that have private money, can pay their own way, and generally don't really need your help. But I think there's a bigger need in the community when I take a look at numbers around that we may be able to help in. We understand the challenges of Pottstown. We understand the landscape of the community, economically disadvantaged region. But we believe in our presentation that an early STEAM option, and when we talk about STEAM, we're talking it's an acronym for science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, okay? Science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. If we want to provide this as an alternative option, small class sizes, and individualized attention to assist in closing the achievement gap in Pottstown. We believe that there's a high community demand for an alternative education choice in the community. From all the conversations that we've had, and we're working on as we're communicating with people. I will say this, the difficulty, and this is a town hall, so I'm not as formal, but it's tough. You're dealing with a lot of parents who work second shift, third shift jobs, sometimes two or three jobs, to make ends meet. The vitality of a good and strong school system is so important for a child. It's not, and one thing I do want to say, we are not trying at all to beat up the Pottstown School District. We are trying to complement and offer another option to educate children. Now, some things that we have to say that are difficult is truth. But the truth is hard, okay? And sometimes if we don't tell the truth, we'll never get to the answer or the bottom of anything. So when we're talking about numbers and we're talking about different things, we are not doing it in a fashion to say that anybody's bad, somebody's not good at their job. We're not pointing the finger. We're saying we see an issue, we see a problem, we know we can help, okay? We believe that our children deserve the strongest possible start, yet we still are seeing these gaps persist. When we look at the PDE, Pennsylvania Department of Education, PSSA data, 38% of third graders in the district are reading proficient. 38%. Now, if a batter in baseball bat at 38%, we would say he's good. Now, if you were that's hitting the ball. That's four, we'll say four. 4 out of 10 kids are reading on grade level. I believe that that's unacceptable. We want to offer small classroom sizes, personalized STEAM, with a focus on character. When you talk about we're Christians, we know we're Christians, but also there are some things that are universal. So there's no prerequisite to go to Kingdom Life Charter School to be a Christian or sign off on any of those things. We want to be a public school that's offering an education to everybody, regardless of what their background is. But there are certain things that we know are universal: respect, character, honesty. We want to instill those things with our children and work with families to help develop our children. And right now we're talking K through 3, okay? So we're not have a K through 12 school. We're talking K through 3, early education. We believe that now is the time for us to partner and complement the work that is being done in the Pottstown School District. Notice I keep saying partner and complement. We're not trying to compete. How can we compete? They have a $75 million budget, okay? We're not trying to compete. We're trying to offer an alternative. We're not trying to take. We're trying to say, hey, if we invest someplace else, we may be able to get a different result, okay? I want to just take a look at some of these numbers. And as I'm talking, I hope you're writing down, some of the questions or things that you might have going through your mind, okay? And I might not have an answer right off the top of my head, and you might have a suggestion, we'll definitely write it down. We also have with us tonight Dr. Robin Lacerre-Smith, who has been strategic in helping us in this project. So we thank you for being with us tonight. And let's take a look at this. Pottstown third grade reading proficiency. Sorry you can't see that. When you go from program to program, the font changed. Sorry. Well, let me read it to you, okay? I'll get my little clicker to work here. Okay, Pottstown third grade reading proficiency. This is recent PDE data shows that Pottstown children are reading at 38%. The statewide average hovers between 50 and 55%, okay? So our English and language arts kind of historically behind. I know a lot of times right now especially, we're teaching kids that have come through the pandemic, enter into school. But I want to take a look, and it was important to me to take a look at this, at what were the pre-pandemic numbers, okay? Which they were 40 to 45% in range. The post-pandemic trend statewide has gained about 5 to 10 points on average, okay? But Pottstown is still significantly behind, significantly, okay? So we believe that KLC and personalized STEAM, character focus, are designed to help close this gap. We're looking through, we have a curriculum that we're working through that we've chosen that we believe that speaks to specifically the type of demographic as well that we're working with to build literacy and language fundamentals for kids, okay? We want to partner with Pottstown School District for stronger starts. Kids going back into kindergarten, first grade, second grade. Pottstown School District math proficiency. 19%. That's 2 kids out of 10 that are proficient in math. Statewide, the average is 41.7, okay? So we're 20 points below. 20.7. 20.7. Okay, I'm sorry, 19%. 20 points less than where we should be, okay, or where the rest of the state is. Pre-pandemic, these numbers, statewide, 42 to 45%, we're just consistently between 20 and 30 points below the state average, okay? So when we look at the pandemic and we're talking about a statewide recovery, but there still is huge gaps. Even if you're talking from the recovery in 2022, going from 34%, okay, as a state, this is statewide, 34% because of the pandemic. We know we had some challenges, but we're still much less than that, okay? I don't know about you, but 2 out of 10 is not acceptable. 2 out of 10 means we got to do something different. 2 out of 10 says we can try something different and believe that we can move the needle north, and I believe that we can. Opportunity targeted early interventions like KLCS can accelerate closing this gap, okay? So, in doing our research, we looked at many charter schools across the state. Infinity Charter School in Harrisburg is a K through 8 school, consistently ranked in the top 5% of schools statewide as a charter school. Lehigh Valley Charter School, Lehigh Valley Charter High School, is a 9 through 12 school. It's the #1 best high school for the arts in Pennsylvania, and I'll tell you why that was significant for me. #1 high school. Matter of fact, I have a dear friend whose daughter graduated from there. They drove, I believe, from Lansdowne to Bethlehem every day to drop her off because of how good this school was, okay? For the last 20 years, I've lived in Pottstown. If any of you are from Pottstown, we kept hearing over and over again that Pottstown's the next Phoenixville because of how they revitalized their town and how they brought in business and how they revitalized and revamped their downtown. Well, guess what Phoenixville has? A charter school. A Renaissance Academy charter school ranks not just statewide, but nationally among charter schools and has a high advanced placement participation in their school. Next, We talk about Phoenixville a lot. This next one is important because there's going to be a lot of people who say, well, you're a pastor. You have a child care center. You know, how do these things go together? In Philadelphia right now, there is a school, charter school, also a college at this point, that's K through 12, Esperanza Academy Charter School, has a 93% on-time graduation rate, exceeding the city average, serving a majority Latino population that was started by pastors and faith leaders in the community. It's been there for 25 years. So it's not uncommon for people of faith to be able to care about education in our community and to have, watch this, faith-inspired, community-rooted. They've been thriving for 25 years, okay? So what we're doing is not uncommon. It's not strange. We care about education. We care about children. So what's our mission? We hope to ignite hope in our community through a STEAM-powered, character-rich early education that guarantees every Pottstown child masters foundational literacy, numeracy, and 21st century skills that were kindergarten through third grade, ready to take the PSSA. And why did we stop there? And I'll talk about that in a minute, because there are spacing restrictions, but there's also the third grade is when they take their statewide assessment. How do we know what we're doing works? Well, we would know that by third grade. And if what we're doing is not working, we can adjust. Or the other thing is, if nobody comes here, then we're out of business. But if it works, people will keep coming, and we'll be sending kids back to the school district, whereas we grow, adding more grade levels that shows that we have a positive impact in students' lives. This is our vision. Next slide. That's actually my son. He's 7. He just turned 7, okay? But this is him graduating from our preschool. And our goal is to have a joyful K through 3 STEAM Academy in Pottstown that instills hope, sparks innovation, equips every child to skills to lead and thrive, achieving 100% grade level reading by the end of the third grade. I don't know about you. I've been in a performance-based, when I don't even like to say bivocational, I was co-vocational. I was a pastor and I worked a full-time job. But I worked in a performance-based industry. I worked in sales and I worked in marketing. I just couldn't imagine going to my boss, telling him, hey, what are you going to do this month? And I told him, I'm going to shoot for 85 to 90%. He would laugh at me. We're shooting for 100. We want every child. That's our goal. If we're not doing that, we're performing below. Now, we understand kids are not widgets, and every kid is different. And I also understand pulling the bottom up as well, because there's a lot that state tests don't tell you as well. It doesn't tell you about the kid that was getting a 55 and now he gets a 67. If I'm a parent, I'm proud of my child, okay? But also, what we're trying to achieve is, how do we pull the bottom up, but also those higher achievers, how do we push them higher as well? That's how we close the gap, okay? 90% math proficiency and measurable gains, creative confidence, and resilience through the performing arts, which is a part of our proposal we're going to talk about in a little bit. I want to stop right there. Does anybody have any questions so far that I could answer about anything that I've said? Or if you want to hold them to the end, you can let me know that as well. Yes, ma'am. I'll take a statement, sure. She's going to hand you a microphone just so the people online can hear you. Okay.
One of the slides that you showed was very high-performing charter schools.
Yes.
Charter schools as a whole do not have a good reputation. In the state of Pennsylvania, I looked this up. You can look it online.
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania has the lowest charter school performance of any state in the United States. So you're showing these great charter schools, but I'm looking at the reality of what I see around me. So I'd like to know how you answer that. How do you view what you showed us versus the reality of the truth of charter schools?
Well, first I would probably say I would probably like to see the same information that you're looking at. I haven't seen that we're the lowest performing charter school anywhere. Um, what I have seen that there are cyber charters in the state, that those numbers factor into the overall number of what's happening in charter schools. I probably would say the brick and mortar schools that are actual physical buildings, those numbers are significantly different. If you take in all of the cyber charter information and put them in there, I probably would say you're right, those numbers do go less or go lower. But they're outperforming or performing at par with our school district. So there's very few that are underneath, unless they're cyber, which is a whole nother, it's a whole other thing. But those numbers are factored into when you look at the whole thing.
I just wanted you to be aware.
Thank you.
That Pennsylvania is rated very low as far as charter schools are
Mhm.
concerned, and you showed very high level ones, which give a whole different drift to what is really happening.
Sure. Okay. Thank you for that. This is Dr. Myra Forrest, just for those that have. Thank you so much for being here with tonight.
I know Justin.
Yeah.
I know Robin. I know a lot of you.
She's a professional educator, so she knows.
I've been an educator for 500 years. I've taught, I've been a teacher, I've been a principal, I've been a director of curriculum, an assistant superintendent, and a professor at 3 different universities. So I know what I'm talking about. So that's why I've looked into all of this stuff very much.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
not attacking you or the school.
No.
I just want to be clear on what you're doing and why.
Yeah. Numbers don't lie. I'll always say that. If we go by numbers, the numbers don't lie. But we do have a performing in Phoenixville that's nationally ranked.
Right.
So,
But that's one out of how many?
yeah,
I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. The ones that you showed
yeah.
on the screen are the top of the heap,
Mhm.
but you have a lot at the bottom of the heap as well.
Understood. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I would like to make a little comment behind that.
Just if you could use that microphone just to.
Okay, I used to talk loud, but okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm Dr. Robin Lacier Smith. I have a lot of what Myra said, except I wasn't superintendent. I was assistant superintendent of 30 schools. So what I would like to say is that she is correct in what she's saying. However, the compiled charter schools, many of them come from Philadelphia, big major cities that make a total difference. I've done the research too, and a lot of them come from major cities, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, Harrisburg. A lot of them, if you were to departmentalize them, a lot of them are from major cities that are not doing well. But there are some in major cities, in Philadelphia, that are doing great. So no, overall, like she says, they're not. But I always believe there's always a way to do it to help out, because I've seen a lot of things happen, specifically when you're combining academics with career and technical education, engineering, or whatever it is, because that's what's missing from a lot of schools that were here when I was in education. All the schools had some kind of career and technical education, and they removed them from Philadelphia. They removed them from major places that was helping when they did do it. They had schools that were doing very well, the charter schools, because they had individual themes, if you will. Even Reading, when I was in Reading, they had individual gateway schools. They were doing fantastic. And when you start taking those things out, and you just leave the academics again with just the chairs and, it's just the STEAM is what's going to really help it. The engineering, the math, bringing in Singapore math, a lot of good things that will help our students because it's going to keep them engaged. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I love doing research and checking things out. I just pulled up the national rating, and Pennsylvania does rank near the bottom nationally for charter school performance. And so what I would encourage everyone to do is to, and this is not against Bishop Valentine or the school, this is, I like for folks to be informed. And so I'm asking everyone to do your own homework and make sure that you understand what's going on locally and nationally, and from a Pennsylvania perspective. I spent 28 years in the STEM arena, 28 years with Lockheed Martin. science, technology, engineering, and math, and designed and launched the first Lockheed Martin Cybersecurity University. So I know the impact of STEM, but that also means that those who are teaching STEM are also skilled at a level that is going to have an impact at any level. And so I would just encourage everyone to do your homework. That's what and I know I have a family at the Renaissance School down in Phoenixville, and I know they've done quite well. But that's one of many charter schools that have not done very well. So I think it's a matter of just people doing their homework. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say to that point as well, I mean, and I'm with all due deference and respect, but we're standing in the middle of a failing district, like near the bottom in the whole state, and probably one of the poorest places in the country. Yeah, they need help. We're here to help. That's my whole point. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Say one more thing. There are, you know how they say diamonds in the rough? Because I was sent to Chester, Pennsylvania to turn the high school around because the state was getting ready to take over Chester, Pennsylvania school district.
Mm-hmm.
This is when Dr. Francis Warren was there and all of these people they were all there trying to help. And so I was in charge of this magnet STEM school, which kept them from being taken over by the state.
Wow.
Literally, because they raised all the scores, and I'm not saying they're not, that it's not, but it's not impossible. And if I'm involved with something, I've always conquered and challenged. I love challenges. This isn't really a challenge, it's putting things in place that need to happen and putting the right people in the place to make it happen.
Yeah.
That's it, like he said. So you put the right people in there, and you got me, I'm certified in behavioral interview, all this kind of stuff. So you put the right people in the right place for the right reason and intention.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm passionate about it. So
Thank you.
right people makes it good.
Whether it's public or charter,
Right,
it has to be the right people.
That's exactly.
Yeah. Sure.
It's on? Okay. So in regards to like the charter schools not doing so good in Pennsylvania, is that in comparison to the public schools? Or is that just standalone data?
So the data that you were looking at?
It's looking at charter schools, period.
Okay, just
So
looking
it's
at.
not ranking them against the public schools, so we don't know if even if they're below ratings, if that's comparable to what the public schools is actually doing. That's
Oh,
my
there's
question.
studies that show that as well.
Okay.
They show that the
Because that
charter
would be,
schools
that as a parent, that would be my concern, like, are they in ranking with the actual public schools, not where they fall nationwide, but where they fall within the same state? Like, is it better to send my child to a charter school as opposed to sending it to the public school? That would be more of my concern.
Right, and that depends on what district they're in.
Right.
That's what it depends on what school district they're in, because the charter schools align with the school district.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I left corporate America in 2017, I think it was. My undergrad and graduate degrees. My undergrad and graduate degrees are in computer science and math. My doctorate is in education, and so I went to Radnor Elementary School, and I taught there for 2 years, and then I came to Pottstown. You can't expect the same results, and I'm not saying that Pottstown is not striving to do that or any district, but when I saw the resources, every student having a computer and a laptop and an iPad, and vocal and instrumental music, and after-school programs, and everything else you can possibly name, then I understood why the Radnor Elementary School students were performing higher than the Norristown and the Coatesville and the Pottstown and the Reddings, because of the lack of resources, the lack of money. So it's not that the kids are unable to perform or to achieve, but you get out what you put in. And if there's no sufficient resources and money, then you can't expect the Norristown kids to be producing at the Radnor level.
I've been doing this research on these schools for years and years and years, and writing articles articles that have been published statewide, and everything has to do with money. You give Pottstown the money that Lower Merion has, you would see a huge turnaround. Pottstown School District has been underfunded by $80 million over the years, 80 million. So when you take $80 million away from the school district, that means you can't have the one-on-one help with reading, the one-on-one help with math that all these wealthy school districts have. You can't have all the extras that children have. So to compare Pottstown School District to another school district without the money is very unfair, which is why the state of Pennsylvania, and I've been fighting for this for ages by writing all these articles that I read that are published statewide. Finally, the government in Pennsylvania is funding poorer school districts, and they're giving Pottstown School District, Reading School District, school districts that don't have enough money, Lancaster School District, more money. You're giving them the money that they need. We're never going to catch up all the way, but the more money you get, the more services you can offer, and you can help children with their education. So I want you to understand, money is a huge issue.
Right. And you're never going to catch up because it's the real estate taxes. Let's just be very clear. It's where you live, you have more taxes, and more taxes led to school taxes, and school taxes led to giving more money to the schools. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I know. Yes, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I was saying it's about real estate taxes. Where you move, you're going to get better schools. That's the bottom line. I taught at Philadelphia. I had $55 a year for equipment or whatever for the school, and I got it back in June. I taught at Lehigh County Career and Technical School. I had $10,000. Don't start me because I do know. I really know. I graduated from Philadelphia High School for Girls, and I took kids from there, and they went to other schools, like you said. They were like, they don't even have equipment, and they go to other schools. So that's how it is. So we do have to fight harder. But look, we always had to fight harder. That's not a big, that's a given. We just got to fight a little harder. But for our children, they will want us to fight for them.
I'm going to keep going, just with more things that I have. But I do, just to that point, though, I've philosophically disagreed just a little bit. Money does help. It's not everything, though. And it's hard because I'm from here, and I'm a product of here. So I graduated into poverty, and I got my master's into poverty, and I'm getting my doctorate into poverty. And I'm just not going to start a kindergartner out telling him that he's subprime because he's from Pottstown. No, you have every opportunity if we work hard and get your parent buy-in. We can do it. We can do it. Let's keep moving. This is, Kingdom Life Charter School is a completely separate legal entity than Kingdom Life Church. It is a separate EIN. It's a separate setup. It's separate insurance. Everything about it is separate except for me, okay? Kingdom Life Christian Academy, it is separate. Separate accounting. It's a separate board. It's unified only by community and our desire to see educational improvement in Pottstown. We will and are reading all through all of the laws that govern PA public charter schools, okay? This is a big one in Pottstown. We will offer transportation for all of our students, okay? Hassle-free, reliable transportation. Right now, we had a site visit from the school district that went through what our plan was for pickup and drop-off. It's the same pickup and drop-off that we currently use every day. We have 25, 27 kids in before and after school care. 32 kids in before and after school care that come here every day, okay, that are picked up and dropped off by the bus. We work currently with Pottstown and Pottsgrove School District. We're going to continue with the contract with CMD and provide before and after school care, which will be available for all of the kids that go here. So kindergarten through third grade, parent works full time, has to drop their child off. They could literally be here from 6 in the morning until 6 at night, okay, and in care with their school day broken up. Pottstown right now, because of being in an economically disadvantaged area, Right now, every child in the Pottstown School District has free lunch. Those are through the CEP meal program, National School Lunch Program. If approved, we would be able to participate in the same program. Our goal at that point would be able to continue the same thing. Breakfast, lunch. For kids that are in after-school care, would also get their snack, okay? For kids that take the bus home, we would work with parents, of course, to make for a safe drop-off so that kids are making sure that they're also getting nutritious meals throughout the day. Currently, right now, we are a CAFCP sponsor site. That's a food program for child care centers. We're very familiar with dietary guidelines and restrictions that go along. We want to make sure that kids are also eating, but also they're eating healthy throughout the day, and that the meals align with federal standards, okay? In our academic program, we're looking through, so we're not looking to take all the kids out of Pottstown. We're looking to K through 3 kids that we can work with, okay? K through 3. So we're talking about 60 to 70 kids from kindergarten to 3rd grade. Class size, a maximum of 20. Daily schedule, 9 o'clock, of course, the bell rings for school, 2:30 to 3 o'clock dismissal, depending on where we land on timing. Of course, before and after school program that we also talked about, but we're also looking as well for a 1-to-1 tablet to student ratio for these things to be put into the curriculum where appropriate, okay? Always don't want to have a tablet in a kindergartner's hand, okay? But it might be appropriate sometime, especially like on a snow day or if there's an instructional day where children have to be home, where they might be able to log in and do some instruction from home, okay? Kind of stinks now with all this technology, though. We don't get a real snow day with your kids. You know, nothing like a good snow day to just go outside and sled down the hill towards the wall, right? Examples of STEAM integration, you know, what would kids do? Explore life cycles. One of the best things that I saw in our child care center, I love when they bring in and do the demonstration with the bees, right? They're going through the life cycle, showing how honey is made, showing how, and the kids really get excited about it. Foundational computer skills, which, you know, going to kindergarten, if you have a kindergartner, I could already tell you they're probably proficient on that tablet already, better than most of us. But there's other things that are more productive with using the technology that we would want to put in there, such as internet safety. And if you have a child like I have that's 7, you know, Roblox is something that we have to educate on so that kids are knowledgeable about what they're getting into when they're signing up for certain things. With that, though, we can do that and work with families better in a smaller microcosm, and that's what we want. Microcosm of families that we can work with, that we can get even more involved with, okay, to help. Early coding and logic, and some of this is changing because even coding is changing, because now coding is becoming, you don't even have to learn to code, you just gotta learn to talk, and if you talk, the code will write itself. So even in learning that, how are you using these things? How are you integrating technology into our life, everyday life? The next one is, I believe, our differentiator, is that in our STEAM model, we wanna have a performing arts program within our school that is not just art, where we're drawing or making clay pots or anything like that. That also is a part of it, but more so performing arts. That kids are learning how to use talent and gifts and not being afraid to talk in front of people. Learning how to, when we use this as a church in our model, our kids do pretty much everything. Our kids work AV, our kids work sound, our kids sing, they dance, they can pretty much run the church if us adults would get out of their way. We want to instill that confidence that comes with that in these children. I want to take a look, just for a second, how do you know, and Dr. Forrest, you all know, how do you know that it's working? Got to measure your results. Benchmarks, daily teacher contact, parent-teacher conferences, map for benchmarking and assessment tools. All these things that we're contracting with to make sure once we have a student, how are we working with their family every day to measure their progress? This is what tells you whether or not you're doing a good job or not. And I'm committed to that. This is our roadmap. Success every day. We can't afford to fail a kid. Cannot, okay? It's not acceptable. It was not acceptable here. I don't know if it might be acceptable someplace else. It's not acceptable here. We don't want to fail any of our kids. Another thing that we want to make sure is that we have a solid discipline plan. Positive behavioral intervention and support with restorative practices. To your point, Dr. Forrest, in just our child care center alone, I can tell you, we don't have enough resources really to meet the demand of behavioral interventions that are needed on a daily basis. We don't have it, I'll be honest with you. I don't really know who does. The IU is crowded, the IU is overpacked. The resources are very thin, okay? That's real. It is a real thing that resources are thin. We, though, we take a stance that we try our best to never turn a kid away. We work with families. We have some kids that are doing very well, perform very well, and we have some kids that need a little bit more help. We do our best to try to help them. But we also currently do this. This is not something we're talking about we're going to do. We do this right now. We work with the IU. We work with Chester County Intermediate Unit. We work with Berks Intermediate Unit. We have parents. We meet with our parents. We talk to our parents and say, hey, I have 2 children that are on the autism spectrum. I know what it looks like. And I also know what it feels like on the other side of that table. It hurts. It hurts. But why not, if there's people here that have the experience, the life experience, to help young parents to understand what's going on with their child and be able to talk to them and relate to them in a way and say, hey, it's not a death sentence. We are going to work on this, and we have a facility, and we have people here that care, and we're going to put in positive behavioral interventions. We're going to get that kid every help that we can. We do believe, though, in structure. We believe that kids need structure, clear and consistent codes of conduct to maintain order and safety, also in a loving and caring environment. We do this now. Our curriculum that we have now is called Learning Beyond Paper, okay? It's age-based, play-appropriate learning and emotional support. Our goal is to have less than 2% in suspensions, which I hope we can do with kindergartners, okay? All right? I'm reading the paper. It sounds like they're giving them a hard time at one of these buildings. Mm-hmm.
And a 5-year-old who had shared me,
Wow.
and he was from Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
He had an accent, and he threw the chair and he said, "You beach."
Mm.
And so for the rest of the year, the principal, when I would come in the office, said, "Here comes the beach." But I mean,
Getting ready for vacation.
he was a 5-year-old child.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
It happens, yeah, yeah. Our governance, we have a board. Upon approval, we're going to expand our board. It's important for us right now. There's a lot of decisions that need to be made, kind of moving a little bit more nimble right now. We get approval, we want to expand our board to bring some more people in. We're looking for PA certified principal. Believe it or not, we have people that are reaching out saying, I want to help, that work in the system already, that are looking for the door. They want to work with us. They want to help us. They see what we're trying to do. Principals, as well as educators, people that have been in education for 15 plus years reaching out saying, we want to help. We anticipate that if we go over what we're able, capacity-wise, that we would have to go to a lottery system, again, of who gets to come and who doesn't. We do have bylaws. That's how our board members are picked. And we also fully anticipate in having a very active PTO organization. Sorry. This is one of our tenets of faith. If you could skip this one, that was for the school district. KLCS prioritizes character by teaching universal values such as respect, integrity, compassion, service, leadership. These are taught inclusively without religious instruction and requirements, fully compliant with public charter law. And I was talking to a person the other day, and they said, well, why would you take the Christian out of the programming? And I said, the need is so great. I can forfeit being able to preach to you to help you learn how to read. Because what good is it to have all this faith and not know how to do math? Okay? So yes, we are. We're changing some of I'm not changing who I am. I'm changing the focus and say I don't have to preach at you or to you to help you or to help the community, okay? The school expands on previous community success. We're looking to create jobs, okay? Support working families. We're looking to bring resources back into the community. Right now, with giving parents a choice with credible and familiar community members. The next part of this is there are 3,300 kids that attend Pottstown School right now. Already in the community, 320 kids already are choosing charter schools. That's almost 10% of the community, or kids that are eligible to go to school, are saying they're not going to this school already. And they're going outside of Pottstown. They're going to cyber charters where there's less accountability. I'm not here to beat up on anybody or anything, but there's less accountability. But when these funds leave the community, they don't come back. Having a brick and mortar here gives us at least another shot at closing the door on our kids leaving the community and those dollars leaving the community and we don't see them again. It gives us a chance to recirculate them. Yes, ma'am. Sure.
I think it's very important that this group understand finances here. When people go to a cyber charter school, and if they're in a brick and mortar or cyber, and they leave Pottstown, the money. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. The money leaves Pottstown School District with them. The money follows them. So Pottstown School District, who has just gotten money from the state, is losing it every time somebody goes to another school. So this school has advertised it's tuition free, which it's tuition free because the money will come from Pottstown School District. So Pottstown School District will lose the money to this school. So I just want to make sure everyone understands that it's really not tuition free. There is a lot of tuition that will come to this school if students choose to come.
That's correct.
And another question I have to ask you is about the transportation.
Mm-hmm.
Pottstown School District is a walking school district. They don't have transportation for their students.
Correct.
And you are providing transportation. Where is that money coming from?
From the tuition payment that we receive.
From Pottstown School District?
Yeah.
So Pottstown's paying for your students to get transportation, but their kids don't.
Pottstown's paying us for the student to come here. We're taking what they pay, and we're going to take that money and provide transportation.
We provide transportation now.
Yes, I'm aware of that, but
Yeah.
I'm talking that this is a different.
It's a different entity. Yeah.
Different entity. So
Mhm.
I just wanted to know.
Well, I guess to what, did you turn this up? Can you turn it back down? Just turn the main down. It's too loud. Thank you. If we were to move our whole program into Pottsgrove, and Pottsgrove kids came to it, Pottsgrove would pay for busing for the kids to come to the program.
Right, because they're a busing.
Because they're a busing district. Because we're in Pottstown and we want to serve the community, they told us, got to pay for your own bus. So we do. We pay for our own bus. We're going to continue to do that with the charter. We're going to make the numbers work, that we're able to provide that same transportation for the kids that come here.
So the money is going to come, you're going to take the money that you're going to get from Pottstown and use it towards that transportation, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Mhm. I think they should take the money they get and use it towards transportation as well.
Well,
I do.
no, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand, but they have so many needs. I don't know what the answer is for that. I'm very worried about students that have to go across Route 100.
Me too. That's why I want them to come here. So, and to your point though, when the money leaves the district, the money follows the kid. If the kid's not there, they don't need the money. That's my opinion. There's different opinions about that. But if the child's not there, they might not need it.
I just want to speak to something if I can.
Yeah.
Money isn't everything. We're talking a lot about the money, but what we have encountered process and the reason why our hearts are compelled to do something like this is because beyond the money aspect, there are aspects within the actual school, within the actual construct of the teachers and what the parents are experiencing. To me, there's a way that you can handle situations, there's a way that you can advocate for children that has nothing to do with money. We have had to advocate on parents' behalf because maybe they're not knowledgeable enough to know how to advocate for their own children. So when they come to us, we're like, well, listen, we're pastors or whatever. We'll stand in for you and help you. We have people literally crying because their kids are underperforming and no one's helping them figure out what's going on. The entire time, this child has a learning disability, but you're giving her lower grades and not giving her the opportunity to achieve because you're not putting her in the classroom that she's supposed to be in so that she can achieve. So she's discouraged and doesn't want to go to school, and this is in elementary. Discouraged, crying every day, doesn't want to go to school because she's getting Fs. Because they didn't put her or give her an IEP to put her in the right individualized program that she's supposed to be in. That doesn't cost money. So there's a lot of things that we want to offer that doesn't have anything to really do with money, because honestly, what we do in the daycare right now, we do without the means to have money. We have people who come in and volunteer to help with children with behavioral issues because we don't have the money to pay ABAs and whatnot to come in, but we do need the help and the support. So our heart is not about the money. Our heart is about the child and advocating for the parents. As a parent with children with special needs, I know how important it is to know how to advocate for your children. And now the numbers for children on the spectrum and need advocates is soaring. And so what we want to do is provide an environment where they feel supported, where they feel like people care. And I'm just naming one incident. There's several. There are several parents that have come. There are several parents that we know, and there's several people who have left the district working there because they just will not care about some of the children. That's a whole nother side, and I'm not here to beat up Pottstown School District or anything. I want to help these parents because I know from a parent's heart what that feels like, to feel helpless, that no one's telling you how to help your child, okay? So at some point, we have to get beyond the money, and we have to realize that there's other things that are happening in this school, in these classrooms, that have nothing to do with money, because I know that for a fact that people are willing to give out of their pocket to help. You get what I'm saying? So for another aspect of what we stand for, when we say we'll bust the kids if it comes out of the finances, we don't care. We'll make sure that they have quality transportation, that they are safe. We already sacrifice to do that now because we care. And we are the only child care center right now. We are well known for never turning children away for behavioral issues. And for kids with behavioral issues, that need some emotional support at this young age, they recommend our daycare for that. So we want to continue to be with these children from when they finish daycare before we send them out here where now they're regressing, now we want to continue that education in this environment so that they get the same support that they were getting before they entered into early education. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure. I just want to make a comment about transportation. Okay. Yeah, the comment I want to make about transportation is that I this is what I'm saying, what I think. We're not going to take the money that every district, wherever the charter school is, the district is responsible to giving them per pupil cost, whatever that district gets from the state, right? That's a given. One of the problems that they have is that sometimes the kid doesn't make it, say doesn't make it in our school, they go back to the district and now they lost the money. That's a big, that may come up, okay? But as far as the transportation, from what I know, and because I've done a lot of stuff and research too, there are a lot of companies that will be willing to help with the transportation because it's a tax write-off. The state has so many programs that someone who wants to help out can do it and not have to worry about it. It's a tax write-off. It's a write-off. And then they will help the transportation because we don't want to take the money per pupil cost to just put for transportation. I think just like the pastor's wife said, that there's ways that that's going to happen, but I don't want you to think that we're just going to use the money from the per pupil cost and it's going to be earmarked to transportation. I don't believe that. I don't think they believe that, but we'll find a way to make sure that they get transferred. Yes.
So when the cost follows the student from, when that expense follows the student from any school district to a charter school, if after the first semester, the first couple of months, that student goes back to that prior school district, does the money transfer back to that district?
It usually doesn't. Am I right?
I never heard that.
I think, well, I know I've heard of, let me say this, I've heard of many complaints that by the time they get it, that it's not a quick process. So they may get it back, but right away, as soon as the child goes there, no. But they may get it back before the end of the school year, or they'll get it back in time to possibly put monies up and knowing that they're going to get it back, if that makes sense. Like, if I know a student's coming back, I'm going to put.
And I don't know the answer to that question.
I don't know for
I've never
sure.
looked into
Yeah.
it. And I just want to address one thing that you said. The reason I'm talking so much about money is because Pottstown is so in arrears. When you're $80 million down, that means you can't provide some of the services that you're talking about that are needed in Pottstown School District because they haven't had the money to pay for people to assist children, to hire behavioral specialists, things that they should have in the district. They haven't been able to do. So my question was to you or to Justin, if you get a child here in this school that is absolutely, you can't do anything with them, what do you do with them? I mean, you said you don't turn a child, you don't want to turn any children away.
We don't.
What do you do with them?
In the child care center,
Well, not in the what are you going to do with them in the K through 3 school is what I'm asking you. Because there are some children, as being an elementary principal at one time, I have seen children that you cannot deal with. You cannot.
Right.
They need special schools.
yeah. And that's in the public school.
Yes,
Okay. We would handle it the same way they would handle it
to send the child to another school.
if we had to. If we had to. I have a son that goes to a special school.
But some of the children I've seen are
mhm.
just so, their issues are.
special schools for those kids.
Oh, I know there are.
Yeah.
But I'm just asking you because you said you didn't want to turn away.
No, I mean there are difficult cases and there's different. We want to bring the professionals in, bring in the ABA therapists, bring in the RBTs. Does he need a 101? What does he need? What or she? What do they need? How can we help and support them as best we can before we have to say we want this kid to go to the Hershey School or to the Vanguard School or the Timothy School? We're going to do everything. I was a beneficiary when I was in Pottsgrove. My kids are on the autism spectrum, 2 of them, and we needed to, one of my kids was going to have to go to a special school. But because of how we reorganized the centers in Pottsgrove, we were able to bring a lot of kids that were going to special schools. We were able to realign our staff in such a way that many kids were able to come back. I would hope that we would have a good relationship with the district, that we can say, hey, if there's something that we can't do, that we would work together. We would find what's best for this student. My son, we had to really push and advocate for him to go to a special school because I understand there's a cost.
Oh, it's very high.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some children that cost well over $300,000.
Absolutely.
For a residential school.
Yeah.
And that's, the district
Absorb it, yeah. Yeah.
And special education is very, very costly.
Very.
Depending
On the needs. Absolutely. We're going to do everything we can. Um,
And just for to that, I understand you said that to help those kids, you have to have the funds to help those kids, to put them in
Gotta use your mic.
the environment. It's not working. Um, what I'm addressing was that as a teacher, as an educator, as a principal, all the things that you've done through education, when you have a child who is underperforming but clearly exhibits that they have delayed, they're delayed, speech delays, all types of delays, but you choose to ignore that.
How can you ignore that?
Exactly. But that's what I'm speaking to, is that when we were advocating for this person, because they came to us because maybe the parent isn't fully understanding, but they know that my daughter has this, and that, and they're not doing anything about it. They just keep allowing her to be in this environment, and she's failing, and she doesn't want to go to school. She cries every day. You don't need, what I'm saying is, that has nothing to do with money. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I was addressing, is that some of these issues that occur has nothing to do with money, but it just takes a little bit of care and not overlooking just because your parents not that smart, and we know we can probably just kind of push this aside. It's the impression sometimes that it gives, and that's, that pulls at my heart, that happens a lot, and not just in this one case, but it happens a lot. I don't know if it's because they don't have the support, so they don't even give the IEP. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you don't need to have money to diagnose or have an IEP for the child, so that you can figure out how they can do better in school, and it's not impacting them emotionally and mentally as a child.
Well, I think to what you're saying, the money comes in after they get an IEP. All of a sudden now, here comes we got to spend this money. So there could be, and I'm not saying there is, but there could be let's put this off for as long as we can. I would never treat a child like that, and I don't think it's right. It's one thing to be poor. It's another thing to be treated like you're poor. I'm committed. We are never going to treat our community like we're going to restore dignity in an educational system and process. I mean, just the other day, someone was telling me about, and again, I don't want to attack the district. That's not what this is about. But these things do exist and they're real. And if we were to turn the mic to people and allow them to tell their stories, I mean, sometimes it's heart-wrenching. But me and my wife, we have members of our congregation, we go to the IEP meetings for the parent to help with the parent, We will. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we don't mind doing it.
On the other side
Yeah.
of the spectrum, you have gifted children who are not even passing a PSSA. So they're not even doing, if you want to look at it on the other end as well, they have, and when I was leader of schools, I made sure that, so you have all these gifted children that are not even performing proficient on the PSSA. So you got to do your job all the way across. Now, I had the idea of, there's a lot of educators that want to always educate, like Dr. Mars and I. So why not get some retired special needs in here, retired special education who still wants to serve, So it will work out.
Yeah.
Here's a thing for everything. We all want our children, just my son, I think he's a little bit, but every child wants one individual person, but we can't have that. But we still have to do our job, from gifted all the way to the special needs. And I agree with you, and you just have to stay on them, because people do want to work, and some people are working with children that don't want to work with children. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. So with that, I do want to open it up to any other questions. If you have any other, I certainly would love to answer them. And thank you, President Corson, for being here and coming through tonight.
The perspective I want to give is, I grew up in Pottstown, went to Pottstown School District, and didn't have good experiences. Come refuse to send my children somewhere that they would not have the same opportunities as other children. They do not have the same opportunities. I may not have moved out of Pottstown if there was an alternative here. So I have a striving business. I'm a business owner that moved out of here. Now live in Westchester School District, which I believe is a great school district. My son got tested in 2nd grade to be in the gifted program. They recognized it immediately. Just like you said, there's both ends of the spectrum. The children deserve somewhere else an alternative program. I stand behind Pastor Valentine and Pastors Valentine, Bishop. I stand behind them because I see everything they do in excellence. They do not give up. When there's a hurdle, they jump it. If they get knocked down, they get right back up and they jump it again. I trust them. I believe that the money that is allocated for each student will be put to the best use possible. If there's transportation issues, they're going to figure it out. Like she said, there's people, with these buses that are going to want the tax write-offs. They are going to want to support this. I believe this is a tremendous opportunity for Pottstown in every aspect. It's going to change the culture, one child at a time. They're going to recognize the needs of these children, and with the heart that these people have and the support of the people around them, because I'm going to come in and volunteer. I will spend my time. And that's all I have to say.
I get to see their work every day in and out. I am a teacher for the Child Care Center. I do prepare them for kindergarten readiness. I teach preschool. I have a few friends who are moving up to kindergarten very soon, and the work they put in every day to support. I have at least 4 or 5 children in my own classroom who do have IEPs. I work hand in hand with their parents, the IU, Indian Creek, and the avocation that Pastor and Bishop give, the teachers give, the support we give these parents. I've had many of my own parents tell me that they feel so supported with their teachers, with Bishop, with Pastor, with our administration, that they are not ready to. I have a couple kindergartners moving up and their parents are not ready to leave Kingdom Life to go up to Pottstown School District because they're discouraged. And there's a lot of reassurance I have to give these parents that they are, but I'm also with the school district not 100% even ready to let my own students go, because there is. They are disadvantaged and they're coming from this amazing center and they get all the help they need, the prep that they need here. And I get to see it every day in and out preparing my kids for kindergarten. I teach the highest level of daycare here I get them ready for kindergarten. So even I as a teacher on the opposite end am scared to send my friends who are either on the spectrum or not on the spectrum into Pottstown. So to have the alternative, I even hope that my own students would come here because I feel like it would help them. The smaller classes, right now I have a class of 13 and I think that's the perfect number. My kids who are 4 and 5 getting ready to go to kindergarten, they can spell their names, they can trace their names, we're working on letters, they can tell me phonics. And I don't believe once they go to, I just hope that when they go to Pottstown School District, their skills are not hindered and they don't regress because they've made so much progress here.
Can I just say that I understand what you're saying and I agree with what you're saying, but I think so much has to do with the teacher that the child has. I think it's a very individual thing. There are some teachers that will go out of their way to do anything for a child. There are other, in Pottstown School District. There are other teachers that won't go anywhere. It's all depending on who you have, especially at the elementary level. I mean, when you get to the secondary level, you have a variety of teachers, so it's not quite the same. But when you spend the entire day in a classroom with one teacher, it's very important who that person is.
I think one other thing to talk about money in that regard is that we have an opportunity. We understand that the district is short. But their obligations, and I can't always say that we as a community have always been the best stewards of our money. I mean, that is a thing as well. On the other side of that, though, we have an opportunity in a charter because we don't have the overhead obligations of Peasers, some of the other things that go along with it, that our dollar might go a little bit further with us than it does with them, making it more of an investment than it is a detractor. Also, on the other side, what you said about a teacher, now, when I was a school board president, we had to get rid of a teacher. He had been there 28 years. His file was this thick. My first question was, how did he last 28 years? Yeah, how did he last 28 years? I don't understand how we didn't get rid of him in 1994. So when I started going through his whole file, the person that wrote him up got promoted or moved on, didn't follow through with the write-up, fell through the cracks. The union says 6 months later you can't hold that over, fell through the cracks again. Luck, for 28 years, found him 2 years before retirement. Finally, someone says, hey, we're going to hold him accountable. Look at this file. It took that much. On the other side, as we are very generous and on our side, I would never allow for us to get this far before we say this isn't working. You don't have that opportunity in, the public school to do something of that nature. Not always. I mean, it depends on if you want to get sued or not. But here, or how much you feel like litigating. Here, though, we have an opportunity to say, hey, something's not working. Maybe this isn't the right fit. Maybe kindergarten is not for you. Maybe third grade is for you. Maybe this isn't the right career path for you at all. We have that flexibility that our dollar might go a little bit further, but also our ability to change courses if it's not working. Again, if Pottstown right now were to change their math curriculum, it would probably cost another $400,000 or $500,000. You're pigeonholed into, we can't make a change because change costs. We can change our approach. We might not be able to change the curriculum. If we keep it small and we dot our I's and cross our T's, we might have some nimbleness in helping that child that the regular district might not have. That's what I want to say about that. Anyone else have something they want to share or add? It is 8:18, and I think our live stream goes off at 8:30. So I don't want to hold people here all night. But if that's everything for tonight, we are going to do another town hall on the 27th. We welcome the conversation. We want people to be informed. The school district, in my opinion, I do want to say, I believe that they're taking us serious. I think that we put together a good proposal. They came here and toured. Just so you're aware, this entire, where we're sitting right now, is a space that we use, the auditorium space that we use. We have church here on Sundays. All of this would be torn down. The stage and all this would be taken out. This whole what you see would be retrofitted into K through 3, all of this. So we believe that we want the model classroom is that classroom that's in the back. When you leave, you can kind of take a look at it. That is 750 square feet. We are trying to average classroom size for this grade level is between 8 and 900. We want 4 850 square foot classrooms in this space right here. This is 7,000 square feet total. So next door is another 6,000 square feet, which we would use for auditorium space for the school. So as we're a performing arts school, would be over there. Church meets twice a week. I could argue that this is probably more of a child care center than it is a church. I hate to say that. Don't say that. But time-wise, 6 to 6 at 12 hours a day, there's kids in here and there's staff. Church comes in and prays and has church on Wednesdays and Sundays. But there's another 6,000 next door. All of this would go over there. And we would retrofit that to a performing arts area as well, that we can also have activities if we want some indoor play space as well. So, Uh-huh.
My last statement is big. It's in my, I'm not promoting my book or anything, but in my book I have a one-liner that has helped a lot of people.
Mhm.
Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Right, right, yeah. I do want to say my last line, okay? Which is we're not asking for anything but the chance to serve alongside the district. That's it. We're not asking you for anything. And I know that might sound like, well, you're asking for the money to come with the kid. Well, there's so much creativity that could go into that. That could also help the district as well. And if they're open to that conversation, I would love to talk with them about that as well. Like I told you before, we were able to reconfigure our classrooms at Pottsgrove to bring kids back to the district. This 320 students are already leaving. We got to close the back door on the community. We want our kids to go to school in town. We want the dollar to recirculate in town. We want to say, hey, we can help you. We can get a parent, and that happens here. It's not going to happen when the money goes to some cyber school in charter in Scranton. You're never going to recirculate that dollar in the community. This gives us a chance to do that, okay? That's all I have. I don't know how to close. Church ends in prayer, but this creates jobs, absolutely. And professionals that we have to bring in to serve. That's what I need. I need those. Thank you. There is a website that is a newschool.info. A newschool.info. On that website, there's two places. There are for people that are looking to sign our petition. Anyone can sign it. It does do better for what we're trying to do if you actually live in the borough and you live in Pottstown, okay? So please, if you believe in what we're trying to do, you can go on and sign, okay, on the website. The second phase of this is, before we go into our next meeting, I'm asking if there are parents that have a child that's in pre-K or that is going into kindergarten, first or second grade next year, and you are interested, that you would also click the link that you can pre-register